Hello, darling. It's great to see you all again. And thanks for joining me for today's video, where I want to talk to you about how you can start van life. Because I've been reading the comments of other channels, and I've noticed many people are asking the same question. How do I start van life? Because my landlord keeps putting up the rent and I can no longer afford to live there anymore. So I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video about how you can start van life. In case you're going to be evicted and you can't find another place to rent, or you just don't have the money to rent. I mean, rent is expensive now, and the cost of living just keeps going up and up and up. But everyone's wages, unfortunately, they're not going up at all. So that means we need to sacrifice something, don't we? So the question is about today's video is, how can you start van life? Well, to be honest, it's not really that hard. And there's nothing to fear. I know it's easy to fear the unknown, especially when you don't know, but that's normal. But you don't worry about that. So the first thing that you're going to need is to get a van. Or maybe you already have a vehicle that you could turn into a nice, comfy, tiny home. And so I'm just driving along at the moment, so I've got to try and concentrate on the road at the same time. I'm making these videos. Come on, I'm not going to have an accident. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is need to get a van. Whether it be a minivan, an SUV, or a truck camper, whatever vehicle that you may think that you might find suitable for you. And you don't need to buy a brand new van. Never buy a brand new van. So what you're going to do is, you're going to look on places like Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, the Trading Post, etc. for a good quality used van or a vehicle that you like, whether it be a minivan, caddy, whatever. I mean, I know there are so many good quality second-hand vehicles out there. I mean, I have one myself. My van is a 2005 Kia Pregaro van, and it has not let me down yet. And I bought this second-hand a few years ago by Gumtree for just $4,500. And I've converted it myself, and I did not know anything about converting vans, and I learned from watching YouTube channels. And I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it, and so can you. So you're going to look for a good quality second-hand van. Now once you have that, you've got plenty of traffic. Oh, come on, stay on your side. Oh my God, I hate that where people Then he's over halfway into your lane. Oh my God. I mean, it could have caused an accident then. But well, luckily, I'm a good driver and I'm alone. So, you've got your van. And the next thing you're going to do is you need to convert your van. Now, depending what you want, you can either do a non-build, or you can do a semi-build, or you could do a full build. Now, I recommend if you're just starting out, I recommend that you do start out by doing a non-build to start with. That's what I did at first. And non-builds are really good and they look good too. I mean, so you're going to need to get a bed, a little sink with a USB drink dispenser, some cupboards, and I also recommend you getting like a potty driller or something like that, especially if you're a female, because you don't want to be getting out of your van, especially at night time, which is because of safety reasons. So, you've got your van, and also I forgot to mention that when you do go to inspect the van, when you go to check it out, make sure that you take a mechanic with you to have a look at it, or someone who knows about vehicles. Then that way they can tell you whether that vehicle is worth buying or not. So when you go to inspect the van, don't forget to take a mechanic with you. Okay, because by doing that, you can save yourself a lot of money, because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if you buy second hand, you're just buying someone else's problems. And yes, that is true. But that is not always true. So therefore, if you take a mechanic with you when you inspect a vehicle, he can tell you, yes, this is a good van that you should buy, or no, this van might be a lemon, don't buy it. So that's another good idea. So you've got your van. I suggest you start off with the non-build, and then if you want to do a semi-build or a full build later on, you can do that. So you're going to start off with a non-build, and you can go to places like thrift stores, Bunnies, places like that, where you can buy good quality second-hand furniture to convert your van. I should make a video about that. There's an idea. I'll keep that in mind. So, you're going to buy a bed, you're going to need a pillow, blanket, a sleeping bag, depending on where you are located, which country you are located in. Like, for example, if you're located in, say, Canada, and it's winter, you might want to invest in 2 or 3 sleeping bags with extra blankets. Then that way you can put the sleeping bags inside of each other with the blankets. So there's another way to keep warm. That you're going to use like a hot water bottle, a 12-volt electric blanket. Hand warmers are a good way to keep warm too. And also don't forget you're going to need a heater. I have 2 heaters in my van. I have a 12-volt car heater and as well as a Mr. Buddy heater. So it's up to you what type of heater you would like. Maybe you'd like to get a diesel heater for your van, you know? So, and don't forget you're also going to have summer too. And it's going to get hot in your vehicle in summer, so you're going to need things like, what I do is, I have a few USB mini air conditioners in my room, and you fill them up with cold water and ice. And that's another way. Oh, come on. Someone just decided to do a U-turn right in front of me. Oh my God, can you believe some drivers? Oh my God, some drivers are just so irresponsible, aren't they? I mean, have you ever driven along? And have you ever experienced any idiotic drivers driving in front of you where they suddenly just pull out with no indicator? Oh my God, that seems to be happening today. Everywhere I've been driving, I have just come across so many irresponsible drivers, it's not funny. Okay, so you've got your van, you've done a non-build, so you've got a bed, a little sink with the USB drink dispenser, a heater, blanket, pillow, sleeping bag, etc. Shelves or this is Boston. Shelves or some cupboards, and the other thing that you're going to need to get, now I've got to find a park. Oh no, let's park over here. Woohoo! I found a park to park my van. Woohoo! Okay, hopefully it won't be here too long. I'm just here to see my old doctor. I just popped over to North Melbourne because I'm over here to see my old doctor so I can get a copy of a photo of myself to put into my book, because my book is being published right now. And what happened is my mum years ago, when after my ex-husband, after he bashed the crap out of me, I was all black and blue and purple and cuts and stuff, and so my mum took photos, and I went back home that last time because he begged me to come back, and he goes, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, there'll be no more violence, blah, 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 and yeah. Famous last words, and stupid me believed it, of course. And so I panicked with the photos, so I threw them away in the rubbish. And this was when I learned never, if you have any evidence of abuse, do not get rid of it or destroy it. So what you do instead is you put it in a safe place for safekeeping. And because I panicked, because I'm thinking, well, if he's going to, bust the crap out of me for doing nothing, imagine what he's going to do to me when he finds these photos. You see what I mean? So I panicked. I mean, I was only thinking of my safety at that time. You see what I mean? And so before I got rid of them, I showed our old doctor, and he took a photo of the photos. So he's got those copies of those photos on his computer. And because you always keep the evidence, because you never know when you might need it. And so Oh my God, I really hope he gives me a copy of that photo. Because when I've asked him in the past, he said, oh, what photo? So maybe he's actually forgotten or not. I don't know, but we'll find out. But, yeah, so if you have any photos of abuse, always keep them. Because you never know when you might need them, and put them away in a safe place. If you haven't got a friend who can look after them for you, just put them in a bank deposit box or somewhere like that. But I did not realise I should do this at the time. So this is what I've all noted down in my book so that other people can learn from my experiences. So yeah, so getting back to the story, it should be open now, so I'm going to go over and make an appointment and see if I can get a copy of that photo. But okay, so if you're starting a van life, you get a van, a second-hand van, via Facebook Marketplace or wherever. You take a mechanic with you to have a look at that vehicle, and that mechanic can tell you whether you should buy that vehicle or not. And by doing that, you'll be able to buy a good quality second-hand van instead of buying someone else's problems, okay? And then I suggest you start off with a non-build. You can go into a semi-build or a full build later on if you want to. But start off with a non-build. So you have a bed, sink with the USB drink dispenser, shelves or cupboards. Make sure you have sleeping bags, blankets, pillows, heaters, USB mini air conditioners for summer, etc. And don't worry, because you will be okay. The only thing is that once you start van life, it will take you a little while to get used to, but that's normal, that's okay. Don't worry, you will get used to it, and you'll figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And the only thing that you will regret is, why didn't I do this sooner? Especially when you see the money in your pocket, because instead of paying expensive rent to a landlord, which is taking most of your money, and as well as the bills too, you will have that in your pocket or in your bank account. And especially once that starts adding up, because van life is very addictive, especially when you're saving the money, and you'll just want to think, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? I know, that's what I thought that too. So if you're moving out of an apartment because your landlord keeps putting up the rent and you cannot afford that rent anymore, if you already have a vehicle, use that vehicle that you have. And you can turn that into a little camper van, with the bed, etc. However, if you haven't and you have to buy a vehicle, start selling the stuff. Start selling the stuff on Facebook, wherever. And all that money that you sell from your furniture and that, and your appliances, can go towards your vehicle. And so I suggest you do that, because van life is a great alternative lifestyle. I mean, I love my van life. I really do. And I know so many other people too. However, I know van life is not for everyone. But a lot of people are turning to van life because they have no choice whether they like it or not. And you might be, that might be your case, So if that's the case for you, I suggest you buy a second-hand van, you take a mechanic with you when you expect it. You start off with the non-build, start off with just the essentials that you need, like a bed, sink, shelves or cupboards, whatever, heater, air conditioner, etc. And don't worry, because you will be fine. Now what you're going to do to save money is I suggest you do stealth camping. So make sure you get some curtains and window covers for your vehicle. And if you have a fur baby, take your fur baby with you in the vehicle. And that's what I do with my Kelly. And she loves van life now. Not at first she didn't, but they will get used to it. Your fur babies will get used to it. Okay, so I have to go because I have to see my doctor about getting this food. I hope I can because I want to put it in, I want to publish it in my book. So I'm going to wrap up my video now. So thank you for joining for today's video. Remember, if you have to start van life because you can't afford rent anymore, just do it. Do it now. Start planning before you move out of your apartment. Sell your stuff, and all the money you put from your stuff goes towards your new vehicle, okay? And then grab all the stuff for the non-build, you stick that in your van, you move into your van. Then you find somewhere to stealth camp. And make sure you watch lots of videos on YouTube from all different channels about van life, about stealth camping, etc. And because the more you learn, the better off you'll be and the easier it'll be for you, especially in the beginning, okay? And that's what I did. And that's all that you need to do too. So you find somewhere to park. You don't park in the same place twice. So if you park on a residential street one night, the next night you go park in a shopping centre mall or wherever, and so on and so on, and you keep rotating and you keep moving around, okay? But don't worry, you'll be fine and you will get used to it and you will start to enjoy it. Okay, so I have to wrap up this video now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Now please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and don't forget to give maybe a thumbs up. So I'll see you in the next video. Now remember, take care and of course, drive safely. Bye bye, darlings.